when your body shuts down, it shuts down. My body shut down. I couldn't physically do anything. It's not because it was if I could try. I mean, even to the point at which I went to a hospital, I probably got hospitalized purely because I pushed it. Because I always thought, I can you can stretch it, I can get painkillers, I can push it a little bit. But when your body shuts down, it shuts down. Hello, it's great to be back on screen. If you've been following me on social media, you would know that I took some time out purely because it was totally out of my control. Not wasn't planned at all. I unfortunately fell ill and I was in the hospital and I had to take some time off. Now it wasn't stress related, it was just an infection, something totally out of my control. And hence I had to take a back step and just make sure I was fully recovered before I graced your screen or your speaker, whatever it is. But my name is Toyin Ayadari. It's the Financial Freedom Now Show. Super glad to be back and better. And I have so much to talk about. But today, you must have guessed from the title, Your Health, Your Wealth. I think having that time off made me reflect on a few things over the last few weeks throughout the period where I was working. So obviously, if you've been following me for a while, I'm a property developer and a property investor. Hence, my income majorly comes from my property income source. And I realized that if I was in a job or if I didn't have the business that I had, which was what I was used to do when I was working. I was a IT contractor, for example. All of the weeks I took off would have been totally unpaid. And for me, it just re-emphasized the need to have multiple sources of income, but also to have income sources that pays you whilst you sleep. And in my case, pays you whilst you're ill and not able to work. I know, and that's a topic we'll probably look at over the next few weeks, is loads of insurances, the things that I'd say healthcare plans that you could have to cover you in event of such eventualities. But I think for me, one of the things that I realized during that period is being financially free isn't a luxury. It's a requirement for your life. And so please make sure you take it to all the things I've been saying. But today, what I want to talk to you about is your health is your wealth. I have been on a journey from the beginning of this year where I have been taking my health very seriously, ensuring I prioritize my fitness, prioritize my eating plan and my eating well, making sure I'm drinking water, making sure I'm paying attention to my body. And it was so surprising that it was when that happened that I actually fell ill. But as a business owner, as a financial freedom activist, if you want to call me that, but as a human being, I realized that there is no wealth if your health is tampered with, if your health isn't good. With all the best and desires in the world, I really wanted to do the things that I was doing before, but I had when your body shuts down, it shuts down. My body shut down. I couldn't physically do anything. It's not because it was if I could try. I mean, even to the point at which I went to a hospital, I probably got hospitalized purely because I pushed it. Because I always thought, I can you can stretch it, I can get painkillers, I can push it a little bit. But when your body shuts down, it shuts down. And so what I want to talk to you about today is, how are you prioritizing your health? Are you one of those who think, what, it'll be fine, and just assume you're always going to be well? And yes, it's a prayer point, it's something you can pray about. But how are you, what are you doing to your body? Really, do you understand that it's garbage in, garbage out, garbage out? If you're not taking care of your body, your soul, your mind, it's only going to regurgitate out the things you feed it. So if you're not prioritizing your health, if you're not prioritizing rest, you will get to the point, and this is not a course, you will get to the point where your body says, enough is enough. And trust me, no amount of wealth can sort you out at that point in time, and no amount of your desires, of your willpower, will get you back working. So understanding the impact of your health on your financial success, on your productivity, on, every your longevity as well. One of the things I also realized during this period, and I think that like everyone else, when you have this downtime, it helps you reflect a little bit more. I realized that, you know what, there's no point working towards financial freedom, working so hard and not being here long enough, if God tarries, if Jesus tarries, not to be able to enjoy the things you've worked for. So again, you making sure that you're prioritizing your health so you can live long in good health and in prosperity. So yes, it's good to buy all the houses, have all the money, do all the lovely things, but you want to be here long enough to enjoy those things if possible as well. And that is about you, that is where your health is very important. So I want to share with you practical tips for maintaining a healthy lifestyle whilst pursuing your financial goals. One of the things I also I started doing at the beginning of the year is, because I always thought I was so busy, and I have got a busy schedule. I always felt I was too busy to actually go to the gym, too busy to actually take walks during the day, too busy to actually cook good meals, prioritize my meals, make sure I get my 5 a day in, my vegetables, my fruits, and the rest of that. I always thought I was too busy to do certain things, that I realized that it was just a case of I did not realize how important these things were for me. And it took me, when I have downtime, I Netflix and I do all of those things. I actually had to start prioritizing watching healthy shows that would fill me with the knowledge I needed to actually know that the importance of drinking water every day, know the importance of paying attention to how many times I visit the loo. You don't want to hear the information, but it's all those things that are important. How often do you empty your bowel? How often do you actually sweat? How often do you get the toxins out? These are things that personally for me, I fortunately or unfortunately, or I don't know what you call it, but I did not know, or the information wasn't passed across to me in school. I didn't pay attention to it in school. I didn't get from my parents. There was no one around me talking about these things. So I have gotten by so far not knowing those things, and I could easily have just rested on that knowledge that, well, I wasn't told that, and oh yeah, it's okay. For a long time, I will have large portions of meal and tell myself, until I was full to stupor, was that was the only time I could stop. I didn't realize that those that I was admiring, what they look like, their physical stuff, and this is not about what you look like really, but I realized that they had normalized actually being hungry. Or not necessarily being hungry, having hungry pangs. For a long time, for me, it was a no. You feel hungry, you stuff your face with food. I didn't even think that, okay, well, if I feel hungry, am I actually hungry? Have I eaten enough? What have I eaten? Am I then taking sugary snacks to just fill that hunger pangs? And then, it's just all of those information that are available, by the way, for free on podcasts, YouTube videos, and the rest of that. But I just didn't even have that information, and I didn't prioritize that. So understanding that these things were important to my health, I started looking about, what does my healthy lifestyle look like? What is my nutrition like? What times of the day was I eating? What is intermittent fasting? What is what ratio of carbs or protein do I need to have? All of this information that seems like too geeky. When you hear some people talk about it, I realized it was important, and I needed to pay attention to those things. And for me, I slowly, I mean, I wouldn't say today that it's my passionate subject or I love it, but I needed it. So there is a balance into what you need and how much you love it. And I started paying attention to my nutrition. And oh my goodness, I started feeling really good with myself. I remember the first time I actually stems and did intermittent fasting. And I used to think it was impossible for me not to eat. I mean, especially when I was maybe religiously fasting, I just thought I had to hit at this particular time. Now I'm not gonna forever intermittent fasting. I was doing it for a period because I just wanted to get my body used to certain things. And for me, it was amazing how I wouldn't eat till 4 p.m. and I was okay. And when I did eat, I realized I could actually. It's so funny because I belong to. There's this group of friends I joined. I joined a fitness group with, and one of the ladies at some point was saying, "Oh, she struggles to actually get one meal." She was doing intermittent fasting, and she struggles to actually get one meal a day in. And I was like, oh come on, all of those people that say these things just to make those of us that eat 3 square meals. Well, I don't eat 3 square meals, but make others feel bad. And what do you mean that you're struggling to eat one meal a day? That's just not true. But I didn't realize I was just speaking from my ignorance and not experiencing it. And I got to the point where I would easily, not healthy, and I wouldn't do it every day, but because I was probably busy, I planned not to eat until 4 p.m. And before I realized, in between meetings and the rest of that, I had not eaten 7 p.m. So I actually would be rushing to get a meal in. And I was full. I was okay. I felt rejuvenated. The next morning, I felt it was so much easier waking up feeling free. I didn't have the tiredness I would normally have in the morning, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I am that person that was struggling to get a meal in a day. I realized until you experience something, you just think it's not possible. Now that's besides the point. My point is, doesn't matter what you do, take your nutrition seriously. Look at the calories that you need to consume. Now, I don't believe, I don't, maybe I could change, but I don't believe in calorie counting. I want to enjoy, I love my food, I want to enjoy it. But then I look for ways that I can manage enjoying my food without actually overeating, which is one of the things that I wasn't doing before. But then it's not just about nutrition, it's about your exercise, your fitness. What does that look like? You understand that. Don't wait till you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s when it's much more difficult to move around for you to start doing these things. Don't wait till you retire until you make your fitness a priority. Do something now. Now it's a case of taking baby steps, and you get better as you go along. Stress management. One of the things I decided was I was going to go to the spa at least once a week. Now, do I have time for it? I made time for it because I realized for me, not only was it good for stress management, but also it was one of the places where I was most productive because I got thinking time there. I would go to the sauna, and by the way, these are things that I was paying for anyway. I was paying for it. I just didn't prioritize it enough to actually give myself that time and realize it's actually these things I was doing was investing in my self-care is actually providing long-term financial benefits, not just distressing, but it was actually providing long-term financial benefits because loads of times I was going to the spa, I was getting loads of ideas that I wasn't getting in my active everyday lifestyle. So sometimes those things that you still as luxury are actually not luxury. They are beneficial to your financial goal. I want you to today make a plan, a decision with yourself to prioritize your health. And you know what you're lacking in. It might be just you need to sleep more, go to bed earlier, stay in bed later, or you need to actually manage your food, your nutrition, or your exercise, or your fitness routine, or just stress management, knowing what gives you energy and what takes away energy, whatever it is. And so also, or even paying attention, your dental care, your eye care. Pay attention to all of those things. Pay attention to your body. What's your body telling you? What's your body telling you in terms of rest? Pay attention to all of those things. And oh my goodness, you will thank yourself. So please don't, I did not, it was an infection that I had. So it wasn't because of stress or anything, but it made me reflect that if I didn't take care of my body, and thankfully I started doing that way before. I mean, when I had this infection, it could have been a lot worse. Who knows? Who knows? Because if it was the old me who was always stressed and always busy and just not even paying attention, I could probably have broken down and not be back with you right now. So it's very important to pay attention to your health. Your health is your wealth. My name is Tony Diary. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you to all of you guys who checked up on us and said, "What's happening? We miss you." I really do appreciate it. It's the Financial Freedom Now show. Let's do what we know how to do best. Keep sharing, like, share, send this to someone that you know. I love all the fantastic feedback I've been getting, and I'm so pumped up, back on your screen, back on your speakers, really excited to bring you more and great information. Until next time, God bless you.